The good, the bad, and the odd. They're sorted.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hey.
Hiya. So, we come to the end, possibly, of the MCU Phase 1, right? Or whatever it's called, the Infinity Saga. Though I have heard, apparently, the Spider-Man film to come is part of this phase, but that seems weird. But we've pretty much done it, right? We've pretty much done it. However, I wanted to sort of take the opportunity to sort of do a round robin around comic book and superhero movies generally, perhaps. And I did ask for some feedback from our on the Facebook, and I got some fairly extensive feedback that kind of covers the history of comic book movies, I should say.
Okay.
So that I think, and it's quite long, so we'll kind of read through it and comment as we go, I think. But I wanted to do that first. I will stress we aren't doing any spoilers about Endgame until we start talking about Endgame. So the first half of this podcast is going to be spoiler free, and we'll make it loud and clear before we get into any spoilers. However, I've got a feeling quite a lot of people have probably already seen this. However, we will not spoil it until we say we're going to spoil it. That seems fair. Mm-hmm. I haven't edited this or any of that stuff. Obviously, we don't know how long it's going to run. But I'd say the first half hour of this podcast will be spoiler free, and the second half hour will probably be spoiler field. We'll be talking about the movie specifically. Anyway, let's get on. Okay. I'll start with our feedback, because I said I would. Right. First bit of feedback was from Dougie Carr. He says hi, and he wanted to thank us for and the various guests we've had on for all our work. He says, I've been playing catch up with your various podcasts for what seems like forever, but I'm almost up to date now. Well, if you've been doing it for our ones, we got 600 on, so that's a mean feat.
Yeah.
However, I'm not sure they're easy. I think the sheer number we've produced, you can only probably get the last 300 or so that are available, I suspect, because you can't host 600. The RSS feeds will not deal with 600 items. It's a bit of a shame, really. Maybe I should do something about that, but never mind. But anyway, yeah. He says, really enjoying the various shows, particularly interested by the relatively new Anthologic. Yeah, well, I kind of like that. And you've been on quite a lot of them, haven't you? I mean, you're on, I'd say, at least 2 out of 6. At least.
Yeah.
And maybe a little more than that. So yeah, let's go right. Regarding comic book movies, Marvel are killing it pretty much every single film, whereas DC are killing me a little bit with almost every release. Okay, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but DC are getting 2.5 out of 5 on average, whereas MCU is probably over 4.5. I think that's probably a bit strong. I don't think Marvel's that high every time, but the general trend is definitely there. Would you agree, Sam?
Yeah. DC's not doing well.
DC is not doing well, apart from his animated stuff. I mean, some of his animated
the animated's pretty good.
We can cover that.
Shazam's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but some of the animated stuff is really good. Some of my favourite DC stuff is the animated stuff, actually. I'm more of a DC guy, which I am. I'm more of a DC guy. What are you? Are you DC or Marvel?
I'm kind of everyone, really.
Yeah.
I just read comics.
I'm more of a 2000 AD guy, frankly. Anyway, I'm more of a DC guy. Mind you, I've always loved Batman. I'm more of a DC guy, so although I'm still happy to see the films being made, I just wish they could up their game a little. Well, Wonder Woman, I'd say, is pretty good, actually. And I quite liked Aquaman as well. I thought it was pretty decent, but I think Wonder Woman's their best so far. Talking about post-Christopher Nolan, of course, the Dark Knight trilogy is pretty great. Yeah. I'd love to see a Sandman film and a Swamp Thing. Yeah. Constantine. Well, we have had one of those, but I know what you mean. And eventually a Justice League Dark. Thanks again for
good news for you. There's apparently Justice League Dark in production.
Is there really?
So,
that sounds interesting.
With Del Toro on it. So, he was on it, but is no longer attached to the project as of 2015.
Del Toro keeps jumping out of things for whatever reason. Oh, that's a shame. Thanks again for all your work on the podcast. Cheers, D. Thanks, Dougie. That's very kind of you.
Thank you.
So we kind of agree with you there. DC are not doing great compared to Marvel, that's for sure, in the live action stakes at least. Okay, the second piece of feedback I got, we only got the two, but man, this second piece is really something. This is from Bruce Hannon. Oh man, he's got a lot to say. Now, feel free to interrupt me, and I'll probably jump out of the thing, but there is a lot here. Okay, so Bruce says, as far as comic book movies go, kids. Hold on, I'll start again. As far as okay. As far as comic book movies go, comic book fans, moviegoers, kids, nerds, geeks, or whatever you want to call them, and I, and probably one of them, we have it so lucky today. Or have we? As much as I love the recent explosion in the last 10 years or so on the big screen and TV of comic book movies, I will probably say recently it's become almost overwhelming and hard to keep up. Yet, just like the Logan movie ending an era of our razor-knuckled friend, Endgame will surely have the same effect. Me in tears. Wow. Okay, let's decompose that first point. Is it overwhelming? What do you think?
Yeah, you could probably argue it, but they're all so different that it's not as bad as, like, say, early 2000s superhero films, where every single one was like, let's have them dressed all in black, same general plot points, seriously. Always depressed, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Now you got like James Gunn, you got like everyone working different angles on it. So
I have to say, I was feeling punchy. I was. This was around the time. What was the film that was last out just before Black Panther? I kind of got punchy at that point, right? I was like, oh, I can't be going to see superhero things over and over. It's just doing my nut.
The one before Black Panther was Thor Ragnarok.
Well, no, actually, all right. Well, it wasn't that one. I think Black Panther was actually released before Thor Ragnarok in this country. I think it's the other way around. Anyway, I was kind of getting punchy. Now, there was a number. The thing is, I can't say it was that film. You know what? I think the film I started getting a bit tired of it was probably Age of Ultron. I just felt it was a bit much. Having said that, I went to see Ant-Man, I saw Civil War, I saw Doctor Strange, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and I saw Spider-Man Homecoming, and I liked all of them. But you know what? It was a point where it's like, I think I've had my fill. I do remember specifically thinking, right, I'll go and see Infinity War, but I'm not going to bother going and seeing any more. And I gave Black Panther a miss in the cinema. I was just too tired of the whole thing. But I did go see Thor Ragnarok because the clips I saw in the trailers sort of juiced me a bit. And Thor Ragnarok pulled me back. Honestly, I enjoyed it so much. It was like, oh man, why am I getting fed up with this genre? And I went back and saw Black Panther after that and enjoyed that just as much. And I think Infinity War, again, pulled me back. You know, I think Thor Ragnarok was the real, you know, no, I'm not done with this yet kind of thing. But I was kind of tired. But we'll get into this when we're talking about the MCU, actually, this particular point. So, okay. So, Bruce goes on. When I was young, we were lucky to have the Hulk, Wonder Woman, and Batman TV shows on repeat. Yeah, that's about it. That's all weird. There were some goofy Spider-Man shows. I do remember that. And I think there was a cheap Captain America, but I don't really remember much about that.
Marvel kind of tried to do like a bunch of like superhero shows. Like there was in the same sort of time as the 60s Spider-Man one, you know, the one with the famous opening.
The cartoon ones, you mean?
Yeah. There was like there was definitely a Captain America one and a Hulk one.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, go onto YouTube and listen to the openings to those shows. They're pretty funny.
Okay.
But
I was a big fan of the Spider-Man comic cartoon, but looking back on it, it is pretty bad. It's pretty cheap.
It's really ropey.
It's properly rough, but I think the voice work was pretty cool and the music was pretty cool. But and the song's great, of course. So that's kind of all we had. There was a few others, but those were the big ones. It was the Hulk, Wonder Woman, and Batman, right? That was it. And then for the big screen, it was Superman with Christopher Reeve. Was about as lucky as we got, and also Flash Gordon. We can't forget about him. However, it didn't really matter because everyone loved Superman. They did. He was the ultimate comic book hero, and if they showed them on TV every holiday, I'd still watch them with my Easter egg or Christmas selection box. I even enjoyed the third one. The bit where he splits into two and fights himself was amazing. The fourth movie in 87 was perhaps pushing it a tad far, though, and comic books movies died again. You know what? I'm a big fan of 3. A lot of people slag it off, but I really like it. I think it's fun. It's not as good as 1 and 2, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
4 was dreadful. Yeah, 4 was really
I think it's
bad.
just funny to watch that one.
What,
with
4?
Nuclear Man and
Nuclear Man, yeah, it's Nuclear Man.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, though. Yeah, I did like that one. Anyway.
The Quest for Peace.
Say again? Yeah, apparently
for
Reeves did it back because a kid asked him, why doesn't Superman sort out nuclear war? And that's what the story is. That's the story Christopher Reeve gave. I don't know if it was like PR or what. I don't know. Anyway, so comic books had kind of died off in 87, I guess, until 2 years later, my personal favourite comic book movie of all time, Batman, hit the screen. This was a proper blockbuster movie like the comic book fans had never seen before. I could attest to that. People went nuts for this film. The logos were everywhere. And months before it came out, people were going nuts. There were songs coming out, Prince's Bat Dance, and all of this. The soundtrack, which is a pretty good soundtrack, did really well. Sorry, there's an official OST soundtrack and a Prince soundtrack. The Prince soundtrack did really well. Bat Dance reached number 1. And it didn't get to number 1 in the UK, it got to number 2, but it was pretty high. And there was even Serial. And Bruce says, I remember that summer going on holiday to Blackpool, and he says, Bruce is Scottish, by the way. This was like going abroad for us Scottish folk, going to Blackpool, wow. And all the shops that would normally sell Blackpool Rock, Kiss Me Quick hats, now had Batman t-shirts, Batman logos everywhere. I personally think Michael Keaton is the best Batman, and I also love Batman Returns. I would say these are my 2 favourite comic book movies. I'm a big fan of Batman Returns. What do you think?
Yeah, I like all that sort of like quadrilogy.
You like even the goofy ones?
Yeah, because it's still very Batman.
It's Batman. I like
You've got to take this camp with the serious.
Yeah, you do. It is funny when Batman came out, it was like, oh, this is the dark gothic one, influenced by the Dark Knight Returns and stuff like that. But watching back on it, it's not really, is it? It's still kind of campy. No. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, though, in my opinion.
Yeah. Apparently, the original creator of Batman preferred Val Kilmer.
Interesting.
Which is a weird choice.
Yeah, he's more like Bruce Wayne, maybe. Batman Returns, a lot of people kind of slag off, don't they, a bit? But I think it's a really good film. There's some really interesting stuff in there. The Michelle Pfeiffer stuff is bonkers, but it's really interesting. It's really interesting. The Penguin, not so much, but the Catwoman stuff, I think it's really good.
That's one where Batman just flat out kills a couple of people in that one. He shoves someone throws dynamite at him. He catches it, grabs a goon, and shoves it down his trousers, and then just pushes him off screen. Yeah, and there's an explosion, and you don't see what happens to that goon.
Yeah, so people that moan about Affleck's Batman using guns should go watch that, right? So what happened from there? Batman was now the new Superman on the block with 2 solid movies. Then after that, unfortunately after Batman Returns, they kind of went downhill with Batman Forever and Batman and Robin in 1997. Luckily, we got Blade the following year, but nobody at the time really thought of that as a Marvel comic book movie unless you were really into your comics. Yeah, Blade was like a secondary character of a secondary character. In fact, Morbius is from the Morbius strip. No one's heard of Morbius unless you read a lot of Marvel.
No.
we had to wait until 2002 to get our next big comic book blockbuster, a Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, which I thought was amazing.
Oh my god, rewatch it now, and it's like it's really bad.
Is it really?
Like,
I'm gonna watch it.
I consider it on par with 3 now.
Really?
Like it's really like shocking how weird and awkward everything is. So
I always thought it was a bit too dark for Spider-Man, the first one. The second one, they got the tone perfect, I thought.
Yeah.
It goes on to say he thought it was amazing and really loved the 2 movies that followed, though I'm sure most would agree the third movie was all over the place. I really like the second one. The Doctor Octopus one. Up until Homecoming, I thought that was by far the best Spider-Man movie. It's just I really like Homecoming. I think so. It's helped by having such a great villain as well, Michael Keaton as the Vulture. So good. Then we also had X-Men in 2000 before Toby put on spandex for the first time, but the X-Men wasn't a huge hit at that point. It only took 296 million world, whereas Spidey took 822 million. Spider-Man 2 took 783. Oh, it took less. And the final one took 890. Right, okay. So I didn't realise X-Men was such a downbeat one. Again, going back to X-Men, I think the second one's really good of the X-Men, personally. The third one does not work, but the second one was quite good. And then he says, then we get Batman Begins. 2005. So, as I say, Bruce is going through the history of comic books. Now, he's missed a few, but he does mention them. I know that you're probably aware of at least one or two that we've skipped there.
Yeah, got your Daredevils, you got your Electras, Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Oh, he did mention those, actually. But yeah. I was thinking of something else personally, but he does talk about that in the next paragraph. Okay. I didn't mean to go on, but I guess what I was showing is from Superman 78 up until Spider-Man 3 2007 there wasn't many comic book movies and not massive blockbusters. You can throw in movies like The Punisher 1989 with Dolph. This is the one I like. I really, whenever someone says comic books started in 1989 with Batman, I'm like, yeah, it's Punisher 1989 and Blade, and graphic novel movies like The Crow, which is a good catch, 1994. Yeah. It was really all kicked off when Iron Man hit our screens in 2008, which started off a journey of 22 movies of the Marvel Universe, which none of us saw coming. My son was 7 when the first movie came out. I don't think we saw that one at the cinema, but would have seen The Incredible Hulk the same year. So, when was this? When were you? I was just thinking, you would have been 13 when Iron Man came out.
I would have been 12.
12.
So,
okay, we'd have gone to see it then, wouldn't we? Did we go and see it?
I think we made a habit of you going to see films first, and then...
Yeah, you were at that age because I wanted to just double check. But yeah, I think... Yeah. I'm pretty sure we went to see Iron Man. I don't think we saw that one. Hold on, I've already said that bit. So we went to see every Marvel movie onwards on the early Saturday or Sunday show. And as we grew older, it became an afternoon show. And now he goes on his own at age 19 to the midnight show. Although now coming to Endgame, it feels like it's probably too much in some way. Don't get me wrong, I love them all. But with X-Men, Deadpool, DC movies, and all the TV shows... such as Daredevil, Luke Cage, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Arrow, The Flash, etc., it becomes overwhelming and I do miss the simple days. I feel I can barely watch a movie more than once because I don't have time before the next one comes out. I miss watching movies over and over. Yeah, it's quite. We've gone beyond that, really. I mean, we still do. I've watched most of the Marvel films I like at least twice. Not the ones I didn't like, but the ones I like.
Yeah.
Anyway, better wrap this up. I've not seen Endgame yet. I will in the next coming week or two. I'm waiting because despite all I've said, I don't want it to be over. Despite the amount of movies and frequency of releases that have all been amazing. They remind me of going to the cinema with my son at the weekend when he was young. I really don't think cinema gets much better than the actual Avengers movies. To see Thor, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Hulk, etc. side by side, that blew me away. The Guardians movies was just perfect. Captain America had classic comic book. Black Panther was something new. I could go on. So my open question is, are we lucky to have this cinematic movie extravaganza? What do you think, Sam?
Yeah, we're very lucky to have it. It's like an amazing feat that they've just been like churning this out for 11 years at this point.
I think Marvel's become kind of one of the things people take for granted. A bit like the original Lord of the Rings. People were like, okay. But you watch those are amazing pieces of cinema and production.
Yeah.
And some of the fact that Marvel have been so consistently good, there's very few stinkers in that set.
Yeah. I think something that really annoys me is when people say stuff like, oh, this is just set up for further MCU stuff. Remember when it was a massive thing that Robert Downey Jr. was in Hulk?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember that blew people's minds?
Yes, it did, yeah.
Like...
Yeah, I think we're lucky.
Annoys me.
This, to me, I think Marvel's run so far is effectively the Star Wars of this generation.
Yeah.
I think Lord of the Rings may have been the Star Wars of that, that era, and then Harry Potter, but now I think Marvel for this generation, right? And they've done it for 2 generations. They've been doing it for so long. It's covered a few.
Yeah, arguably, yeah.
So I think the way I like Star Wars is probably the way people in the future will think of Marvel and so on. It depends when you were born and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of agree. Again, I went kind of soft on superheroes. Like, it's just too much, but. I've certainly gone full circle, and I still, there's some that it was more the action, more serious ones that I was kind of getting stung on. I always like the comedy ones. I always like things like The Tick and Deadpool, right?
Yeah.
So I never got bored of those kind of ones. But there's a whole spectrum, isn't there? That's the thing. It's been a while since we've had a really serious one that I can think of. Which is probably good, right? Because that was noughties, 2000s kind of thing. And it, like you say, it got a bit dull, didn't it? The X-Men kind of embraced that a bit and stuff. Anyway, Bruce answers his own question. I think for now we are. This set of movies and this chapter coming to an end, I think movie lovers are lucky to have that feeling right now. With kids of today, in 20 or 30 years' time, remember these movies like I remember Superman and Batman 89. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we kind of said the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So thank you, Bruce. That was an almighty effort and kind of covered pretty much comic book history fairly well. So the only one I really want to mention that is not in your sort of tome is Dread, because it's one of my favourite films.
I don't even know if that counts as a superhero.
No,
film.
It's not.
Like
it isn't a superhero.
It's a cult film.
It's comic book. It's a comic book film, though, right?
Yeah.
I guess we could also mention Judge Dredd, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right, so what I want to do now is go through the more MCU stuff. Now, it's in 3 phases, so what I was going to do is read out each phase and tell me what you think was the best and the worst of that phase. Let's just go through it that way.
Yeah.
So the first phase, it all started with Iron Man, then The Incredible Hulk, then Iron Man 2, then Thor, then Captain America, and then the Avengers assemble.
Yeah.
Pretty solid phase.
Yeah.
There's a few dodgy ones, but what's your favourite out of those?
Favourite is Avengers by far.
Yeah, the Avengers Assemble is such a great film. Really, really. 2012 seemed to have all these amazing films, and Avengers Assemble was up there.
Yeah.
We had Dread, for example, which I already mentioned. But there's quite a few. If you look at the filmography of 2012, there's some really good ones, but Avengers is up there. Yeah, I'd agree. What about the other one for me of this phase was Iron Man, really.
Yeah.
Those were great. We can't leave Captain America out either. Those were the top three for sure.
Captain America, it has no second act, but it's got some of the best lines. So
I think it helps because Chris Evans is so good.
Yeah,
I think that really helps.
Just the dumb lines, like when he's like saving them, and they go, "What's your qualifications for this?" He goes, "I punched Hitler 200 times in the face." So
nice.
It's just dumb stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people dismiss Incredible Hulk, and it's got its problems, but I thought it was okay. I preferred the earlier Hulk film actually.
Really? The Ang Lee one?
Yeah, I quite liked it. I know it looked goofy. The bit where he's running fast looks really goofy, but there was some bits that I really liked.
I think I actually prefer the way Hulk looked in this one. Because in later ones, it's just like a big green guy. In this one, he's like muscles on muscles.
Yeah,
like
and he gets properly
it does look
big.
like he could. Yeah, and he keeps getting angrier and angrier. So
that whole Hulk getting bigger and bigger as he gets angry is kind of gone, isn't it? They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, he generally doesn't get bigger; he just gets stronger. So
Thor was a surprise because I really couldn't see how it was going to work, and it did work. They made it work, and seriously,
as long as you enjoy Dutch angles, pretty much every shot in that film is a Dutch angle. So.
But Thor feels very Flash Gordon, doesn't it? It's very glitzy and stuff. I think the real stinker in the room in this phase was probably Iron Man 2.
It's Iron Man 2.
Because though you've already complained about people moaning about all set up, Iron Man 2 really suffered from it.
Yeah. It had it had a villain. Didn't really need to have a villain. Like, the whole Whiplash plot was almost not part of it. Like, you could have just had the same story and have it be Justin Hammer instead.
Yeah.
Like, just Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there that only Whiplash could do.
And it's a shame, really, because I think Mickey Rourke could have been a great villain, if the material had been better. But it was just so half-assed, to make room for the setup stuff. They basically ham-fisted all the setup, which they never did again. As far as I'm concerned, they kind of really stopped all that nonsense happening. They
made a meal out of showing like he has Captain America's shield, and then like he's making new stuff, and then Black Widow shows up, and then at the end it's Thor's hammer, and it's like, well, it's just a bit of whiplash from all of it. So
So I thought Iron Man 2 was a pretty weak entry in this set, but some great. Iron Man was such a good opener,
Yeah,
and the closer being the Avengers was pretty fantastic. Right, phase 2 was Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Avengers: Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man. So, what's your standout good one there?
My standout would be Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is one of my favourite of the entire MCU.
Right, yeah, Winter Soldier's pretty good. I still have problems with Winter Soldier. Now, I have trouble remembering it. I need to watch it again, I think. But I remember feeling it was really pretty solid. My personal favourite out of this phase was Guardians of the Galaxy, though.
Yeah, Guardians is really good. It's those two and Guardians Volume 2 are probably the best use of music throughout the entire franchise. Because Guardians and Guardians Vol 2, they've got their own good songs, but the actual soundtrack, it's a bit okay.
We should have mentioned the Iron Man soundtrack. That was AC/DC, right? That was pretty damn cool. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic. But
Winter Soldier has some of the best original soundtrack. The Winter Soldier's theme genuinely makes my teeth feel bad. Like I just get a bad feeling whenever I hear it.
Wow.
So,
for me, I kind of like Thor: The Dark World, but again, I have trouble remembering it.
No, it wasn't great.
It wasn't great. Okay, Iron Man 3. That was Shane Black. Not as I was looking forward to this, and it really wasn't as good. It was kind of a bit half-assed. Nowhere near as bad as Iron Man 2, but not.
They
great.
They were really trying to do the Demon in a Bottle storyline, which is basically Tony Stark is an alcoholic,
yeah.
and the Demon in the Bottle storyline is where it actually came to a head.
Yeah.
But they kind of worked around. They tried to do him being traumatized, and they just made him a workaholic instead.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not great. So, an Age of Ultron, I felt was a bust compared to Avengers Assemble.
I still enjoy it.
I thought it was okay, but it was just I was just disappointed after how good Avengers was. Because it was Joss Whedon again. I was expecting it to be the same kind of quality,
Yeah,
and it wasn't. And Ant-Man's okay, but it's
Ant-Man
kind
was
of
fun.
It's fun. It gets to the fun end of things. The standouts for me were Guardians of the Galaxy and Winter Soldier, and I think that's the same for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we get to phase 3, the last phase, Civil War.
Yeah.
Which is really, I always thought that
phase had a bad film.
Well, let me read through them and we'll see. Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Endgame. Any weak ones there for you?
Not really. I mean, I admit I haven't seen Captain Marvel yet, but no, they were all really good. My only real complaint I could give is that the Black Panther and Doctor Strange kind of fell into the sort of Marvel starter film, like the first version, where it's just like a fairly basic destroy the world plot, but the villain is exactly the same, has exactly the same power set, looks quite similar, and like it can get confusing at times.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, that's an interesting insight. Yes, I agree with you. I also agree that there's not really a weak film here. I think if I had to pick one or two of the weak ones, well, in fact, there's only one really. It was Ant-Man and the Wasp, and that's still a good film. It's just not a great film. The rest of them are really quite good. Civil War was great. I really like Doctor Strange. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was solid. I preferred the first one, but it's close.
See, I kind of enjoyed the second one because it
was great.
Okay,
it was great.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was the jokey film when all superhero films were getting serious.
Yeah. I really like Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's set off its own little trend of making fun superhero films. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 2 comes along and makes the serious film when all other films are being jokey.
Yeah. No, I do like Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to stress that it's close, but I just have a slight... I think it's one of those lightning in a bottle things. It's like I like the first Lord of the Rings film because I just think they hit the mood perfectly. Though the other ones have got more scale and grandeur, I just think there was a lightning in the bottle thing, and I think Guardians of the Galaxy first one was kind of like that. Spider-Man Homecoming was fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok was tip top.
Yeah,
Black Panther was very solid. Infinity War, fantastic.
Yeah,
Ant-Man and the Wasp was okay. Captain Marvel was, I don't know, maybe a 7 out of 10, pretty decent. And Endgame we're going to discuss. So, really, this last phase is very solid, right? Let's just go. Right, now we've gone through them all, and we can include Endgame in this. What would be your worst two, say?
My worst two would be Thor Dark World and Iron Man 2.
Mine's definitely Iron Man 2, and... I don't know, I was kind of really disappointed with Age of Ultron, but I think that's a bad pick. Yeah, I'm going to go with your Dark World, though I remember it, I don't know, the thing is I can't remember it, so that's not a good sign, is it? I just cannot remember. What's your top 5?
My top 5, in number 5 I've got Winter Soldier.
Okay.
In 4 I've got Guardians 1 and 2, because I couldn't decide between them. 3 is Thor Ragnarok. 2 is Avengers, and 1 is Infinity War and Endgame. Because they're pretty much... Their lead-in is so, close that they can be considered their own film.
One film, right? Okay, I can kind of see that. I am going to do it the other way, because I haven't actually written this down, so it's easier for me to say my favourites first. So, My very favourite Marvel film is probably Avengers Assemble.
Mm.
After that, it's Infinity War. No, sorry. After that, it's Guardians of the Galaxy. Then it's Infinity War. Then it's Thor Ragnarok. And then it's Iron Man. Those are my top fives. And I think I've already discussed the bottoms. I've left Endgame off this, kinda, but Endgame's not in my top five, actually. I think I prefer all of those above Endgame. And that's not to say I don't like Endgame. I really do. But I just like those five better than Endgame. And that, I think Endgame's a very solid film, but it's just the rest of them really knock it out of the park for me. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's get into Endgame.
God, seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die. I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. I like this one.
So, Endgame. From this point on, will be spoilers. So, if you do not want this film spoiled, actually, let's just say, is it a high recommend? Is it a recommend? What's it?
Yeah, very high recommend. You need to go see it.
Yeah, you need to go see this. This will give you proper closure on this entire phase. So, okay, from this point on, it's spoilers. Okay, so what do you think of this one, Sam?
This is an amazing film.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it because it called back to every single previous film. It didn't mess about. Everything there was no real fat that could be cut from it that wouldn't cause it to suffer in some way.
I kind of agree for about 80% of it. I think there were some things I didn't like about it, but I think they're nitpicks on my part, really. Did you like it more than Infinity War?
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of up in the air because it's such. It requires so much foreknowledge that I wouldn't really rate it as a film or just the conclusion to the entire thing. Infinity War, I can enjoy. I can just sit down and watch Infinity War. Endgame, I'd have to prepare for a bit for almost.
You need to think it through. Yeah, I have to say I prefer Infinity War because it does feel a more standalone film. This is winding up a whole set of films, and it does it quite elegantly. I don't think it milks all of the, moments of each of the main characters excessively. I think it's balanced really well. There was just a few little nitpicks I had with, why did they do this? But they had also some really nice touches too that counterbalance some of my not problems, my own. I think I've got to be honest, I think the problems I have with it is, I really was wanting to see that and I haven't done it, which is nitty, isn't it? It's really nitty.
Yeah.
You've got to take these films as you go. And I am going to go re-watch this, and I suspect I'll enjoy it more the second time. Because I would have got over, why didn't they do this? For example, I'll tell you one of my nitpicks. I wanted some development on the Banner and Black Widow stuff. And that was completely not even mentioned at all.
That wasn't addressed. I assume there was some... It was in the 5 years, but since we're not going to see those 5 years, it's kind of pointless.
I mean, it'd be interesting if there was a longer cut of this and that was in there. The other one...
Yeah, I'm almost certain there's going to be a longer cut. So,
you know what? One of the things I think is... my problems actually thinking on it tend to be around Hulk. I wanted a bit of Hulk. I wanted some hulking going on. There wasn't any.
I was really hoping for Worldbreaker Hulk, which is basically he is to Hulk what Hulk is to Banner. He's that level of strong.
Okay.
Now, even with the Professor Hulk being around, that could still happen. He could Hulk out completely, but
lose his temper in effect, right?
Yeah. And we see a little bit of it. He when he hears about Black Widow's sacrifice, he does just sort of offhandedly throw a sofa into the distance.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah. He doesn't even get angry when Thanos reappears.
No, it doesn't work, does it? It doesn't happen. Yeah. Essentially, we see Tony Stark floating around in space and looking like he's about to die, but Captain Marvel turns up and rescues him.
Yeah.
In a scene that was actually reminding me of the bits of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, actually. It was
kind of.
Anyway, so he brings Tony back and he's back and everyone's happy. And then we get this section where Ant-Man kind of comes back 5 years later, right? And, I'd have to say, what do you think of them using 5 years later?
That was pretty startling. I was just sat in the cinema, just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Why not a year? It's weird. It's 5 years, right?
Well, it's long enough that people can start to build lives in the post-snap world,
and it also
like Sony does.
Yeah,
and people are starting to have to emotionally get over what happened.
Indeed, and it also informs Thanos' thing about, I thought people would be happy I've done this, but I can see that my thinking was wrong at the end, right? So it informs that too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, they figure out, basically, they're trying to get the Infinity Stones back, and they figure out where Thanos is, and Captain Marvel says, I'm going to go kill him, and they say, now we're a team here.
We're all going to kill him together.
So what do you think about this confrontation between Thanos and them?
I would have liked a fight, but it makes a lot more sense that there is no fight, within terms of the story. Because, if he had a bit of a throwdown and then at the end he snapped and destroyed the gems, it would have been far more heartbreaking. But as it is now, it does come across like Ozymandias, where he says, you think I've been narrating for fun? I did my whole plan half an hour ago.
Yeah, so it's a touch of that. What Thor does is a bit of a surprise, right?
Yeah, he aimed for the head.
It's a hell of a callback, isn't it? I aim for the head. Thor just decapitates him. Quite surprising because this was a 12A. I didn't expect to see an on-screen decapitation.
Quite violent with him. I was shocked when they cut his hand off. I was like, it's probably going to happen, but geez, they just full on show it. Yeah, and then he lobs his head off. I was like, whoa.
I guess it's a CGI thing, so it's not the same as a real decapitation. But even so, it seems to be. Anyway, they got nothing. That's pretty. Isn't that quickly after the whole thing, rather than 5 years? But things move on, right?
Yeah.
But then after 5 years, Scott Lang comes back. I really like this bit where he's like wandering around trying to figure out what's going on, and he meets his own daughter. That's really quite touching.
Yeah, that was really cool. And now she can play. Oh, he has like a little sidekick. His daughter, Cassie Lang, is a superhero.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
She.
Now, the whole section is kind of very downbeat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's startlingly dark and grim.
And they
especially the bit where he's wandering around a memorial and he finds his own name.
Yeah. So they start talking about this, don't they? He goes to the Avengers compound. We seen like a meeting of Natasha running a meeting of what's going on in the world, but it's all very depressed and downbeat, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a lot of, they just sort of they literally say at one point, it's an earthquake and water. We do something by doing nothing. We just sit and wait for it to go.
Yeah, so, it's completely different tone and feel, right? But then they, when Scott Lang comes back, they go and talk to Tony Stark about it, who's retired and now has a daughter, which again probably informs the 5-year thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's got a daughter he can talk to and tell stories, and she says, "I love you 3000" and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
so he's got married to Pepper Potts. They've had a kid, a girl. There's a lot of daughter stuff in this, isn't there?
Yeah,
we got Tony Stark and his daughter, Scott Lang and his daughter. I'm sure there's another one.
The daughters of Thanos.
Daughters of Thanos.
Gamora and Nebula.
Yeah. So basically, they tell Tony Stark about it, and he's like, "I'm not getting involved." But he actually then works out there's a time machine, and they do some comedy stuff with Scott Lang,
Professor Hulk. Yeah, and Professor Hulk. They figure out. I think Tony explains it as instead of putting Lang through time, they put time through Lang. So his age changed suddenly. So like he goes old, then he goes young, and then he goes to a teenager, and then he goes back to normal. He says something like, "I peed myself, but I'm not sure which of me did it."
Yeah. So Stark then gets involved. They work out how to build a time machine using sort of quantum realm stuff. And they start. It's interesting. They refer to all these various films. Like are you telling me Back to the Future is all bullshit and all this kind of stuff? They don't mention Doctor Who, funny enough. But there you go.
I mean, it's not that big of a thing culturally in America, so
I guess not. Right?
It does make sense.
So essentially, it then turns into a heist film, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've got to go back and steal more Infinity Gems.
They basically have to steal the Infinity Gems, use them, and return them to the exact point they stole them, so no one knows. And that way, all the timelines are not disturbed or they haven't created whatever. So they kind of do that. But there is interest. It's interesting during Loki actually escapes, doesn't he, with the Tesseract at one point?
Yeah, they mess up stealing the Tesseract because they figure that 3 stones are in New York during the Avengers fight.
Yeah.
The fight from Avengers Assemble.
So we get we see it again, bits of it anyway.
Yeah. We get to see a pretty funny bit where Professor Hulk's embarrassed because regular Hulk is smashing.
Yeah.
And he's like, just sort of, he has to like try and blend in. So he's like half-heartedly like chucking cars and like kicking over small buildings sort of thing. And he goes against the Time Stone. Tony and Scott Lang go get the Tesseract, and Cap goes and gets the Mind Stone from Loki's scepter.
Yeah.
Which has a whole bunch of Civil War characters show up.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. And they turned one of the most reviled twists in comics, where Steve Rogers turns out to be a Nazi, into probably the funniest scene. So Captain America fights himself, right? Yeah, it's kind of fun. No. The bit where with the elevator.
Oh yeah, how Hydra. Yeah.
He goes in, and you think it's going to be a recreation of the elevator fight from Winter Soldier, He just leans over to Sitwell, goes like, "Hail Hydra," and just takes the staff.
Yeah, that is
and walks
nice.
off.
It's a nice little touch. It's interesting. It compacts all this stuff. Was it in Agents of Shield? All this stuff came out. I'm trying to remember now. But we, Hydra infiltrated everything and all this, that, and the other.
No, that was Winter Soldier.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And Robert Redford was in it too.
He was. He was. Yes, everyone was in this.
I thought he'd retired about 5 times ago. So
yeah, he must have come back just for this, right? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We also get Thor go to Asgard. To get one of the stones, and he sees his mother.
We haven't mentioned Thor yet.
Oh yes, Thor.
Turns out Thor is now retreated and is a depressed alcoholic in Norway.
Yeah,
he's also fat. So
fat Thor. Did you think he was going to lean down? Go back to lean at some point?
Yeah,
'cause I did, and it didn't
I thought
happen.
at some point. Yeah, I figured he was going to whenever he got his armor back on and powered up like that, he was going to slim down,
and he doesn't.
But
I really like that. I really like that.
It's quite distracting because he's throwing fists with characters later on. Well, we're in spoilers. He's throwing fists with Thanos later on.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't look great. So.
No. One thing I would have liked in this is, and you'll get the reference in a minute, is I wanted to say, "Hey man, that's just like your opinion" at some point.
Well, they do call him the dude at some point.
Okay, because he looks exactly like the Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
At one point, it just made me laugh, and we saw them 2 characters from Thor Ragnarok, the Rock guy, and the weird little bug.
Korg and Meek. They're playing Fortnite. Meek's double-fisted pizza.
Yeah. There's some of that. And there's various others. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Where Peter Quill's going to nick one of the stones, and they kind of turn it there.
And they just sort of walk up and punch him.
So basically, it turns into a heist movie, but during it, kind of Nebula accidentally communicates with herself in the same time.
Yeah, because she's a part machine. Yeah. Her brain basically shares a cloud save with her old self. So that's the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And basically, that's how Thanos becomes aware of all this, and then realizes there's a point in time he can just go grab all the stones at once as well. Which I thought at first it was this seems like really clumsy plotting, but man, it's clever. It is clever.
Yeah, it was really cool. And it's a good way to make him have him be more aggressive without undoing his character from Infinity War.
That's right.
Because Infinity War, it was basically, let's call him Old Man Thanos. He was quite calm.
Yeah, and, he's younger and a bit angrier at this point, right?
Yeah, he's quite calm and almost remorseful that he's doing this.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's I'm gonna it comes a bit at the end when he finally comes back. He's I'm gonna undo the universe in its entirety now. As if I leave anything, people are just gonna try to get it back how it was.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna destroy everything, but I'm gonna start here personally and level your entire planet.
Yeah. So it comes. I think we skipped a few of the stones. Did we? I'm not sure. Anyway, we get this.
Rocket's getting reality in Thor: The Dark World. Gamora and War Machine are getting power from Peter Quill, and not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow and Hawkeye are getting the Soul Stone from Vomit.
Yeah. One thing we haven't mentioned is the whole Hawkeye subplot too, of where he loses his whole family. It's just unfortunate that.
Yeah, the opening is so heartbreaking because he's teaching his daughter how to fire a bow, and he looks away and he looks back and she's been dusted while he was looking away.
Yes.
And his entire family goes just out of his view.
Yeah.
And he's just
where is everyone?
There. It's what? And he's become a vengeful assassin.
Yeah, he become the Punisher.
Well, yeah, all these people died, but you are still around as he's killing this Yakuza guy.
Which again was quite grim for a 12A, right?
Yeah.
Kind of brutal and bloody. But he comes back in the fold. And eventually what happens is we get to the third act, which is basically Thanos coming down to Earth to destroy it personally, right?
Yeah. They do a second snap to using Hulk because they say like one, he's physically the strongest person there.
Yeah.
Thor goes to do it, but they say like you'll probably mess it up in some way because of how like messed up you are at the moment.
Yeah.
So Hulk does it, and it like messes up his arm.
Yeah, it's properly bad.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. But then it literally happens at the same time Thanos, his ship crashes through the time machine and appears above the Avengers HQ. So
yeah.
I
have to say, I had a bit of problems with the first two acts because I felt the thing is, I was in a screening where I was really close to the screen because each screening was absolutely packed. Even the early morning ones. So I had to get what seats I could, and I was quite close to the screen, and I found it a little disorientating. So I think when I'll go see it again, I'll enjoy it more because I won't be right up against the screen for 3 hours, and B, all the bits I was hoping to see I know aren't there, so I'll just enjoy it for what it is. So I'm looking forward to that. But man, this third act where Captain America says Avengers Assemble and everyone's come back.
Oh.
Cool.
It's just him. First off, he picks up Mjolnir, which is amazing. Iron Man and Thor have a brief throwdown with Thanos, where Thanos smashes Cap's shield.
Yeah,
and Cap is able to use Mjolnir, but then it's like he just devastates them with this big double sword he has. It's just Cap stood alone, and you hear over his radio, you just hear like on your left, and a portal opens up.
Yeah,
and Falcon, Black Panther, all the Wakandans start coming through. Basically all the superheroes, everyone that died as a result of the snap comes back.
Everyone's back.
Spider-Man. Unfortunately, there's some people that don't come back, like Vision. Yeah. Loki doesn't seem to. But did you notice Howard the Duck was there?
No, I didn't see that.
It's like a second. As Wasp lands, there's
I missed that.
The Ravagers, like Yondu's men. They're walking through, and you can see Howard the Duck is with them.
No, that's
it's
amazing.
Like for maybe 2 seconds he's on screen.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. I liked Doctor Strange and all these. There was loads of wizards turned up wasn't there, at the end. I thought Tilda Swinton's character would also turn up, but that doesn't happen.
No, she died like quite a while before.
Yeah, but wizards, right?
But she actually died. That was a plot point in Strange. So.
The only thing that was missing, you know what I would, and this is just silly, right? I would have loved to have seen a cameo of Deadpool riding the winged horse. I don't know why. I just would have loved to.
It'll probably be in the next Deadpool film.
Yeah,
but
no doubt. Because we do get Valkyrie back briefly, don't we?
Valkyrie's back. She didn't get snaps. So, we get, Wanda basically goes and savages Thanos and probably would have killed him if not for him, basically raining fire down from his ship.
Yeah.
Which disrupted it. And there was that cool moment where the ship's cannons all turned to the sky and started shooting.
So there's something coming in through the atmosphere, they say, isn't it?
Yeah. I thought this was going to be all the Guardians of the Galaxy ship. You know, the big
with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was going to be. And then it was just like a little bead of light, and I was like, oh, it's Captain Marvel. And she just spears through it and destroys it in one hit. Captain
Marvel's a weird one in this because she's so OP compared to everyone else.
She's insanely OP. I think Thanos probably should have been stronger because it was kind of weird to. I still argue that Hulk should always be the strongest person in a room.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
You can beat him, but he is stronger than you, no matter what, really.
Yeah.
So to see Thanos try and headbutt her and she just doesn't even react, to an almost comical degree.
Yeah.
which is ironic considering. And then I quite liked his solution to it, which is just to pop the Power Stone off and like pretty much punch her out of the movie.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of a nice solution. It kind of worked. But Captain Marvel it was great when she took out that whole ship. Like, there's something coming through the atmosphere. That's a proper whoa moment. I'm trying to think what they basically is it. I still can't figure out how Tony Stark got this.
He grabbed hold of the gauntlet to try and pull it off of Thanos' hands, and that's when he grabbed him. Because I assume his bleeding edge armor, it could just like pick him up on its own.
Nanotech does it, right? Yeah. It was, and I am inevitable. Snaps fingers, nothing happens.
And he just lifts up his fist. Yeah. I like the moment where they're just still sort of sliding around it, and you can see like they lock into position, and then it starts to weigh on him. Yeah. And then he goes, "I am Iron Man," snaps his fingers, and it dissolves all of Thanos' forces. It's so good.
Including Thanos.
And
I thought Thanos was going to smile at the end, just before he disappeared, but he just looked resigned, didn't he?
Yeah. And then, unfortunately, Tony Stark dies. So.
Yeah, I don't quite get this. They kind of say when the Hulk snapped his fingers, it almost kills him, but Thanos is completely unaffected by the finger snap. It's destroying him that is the problem.
No, right? if you watch Infinity War again, when it cuts back to him in the real world after the snap, the gauntlet is like all burnt up and like destroyed.
Okay.
So I'm thinking maybe the gauntlet took the brunt of the first snap.
Okay.
And then with the second one is when he like wrecked him.
Okay.
Because Tony's stuff isn't as like, it's not the whatever star metal it was.
No.
From
it just goes straight through it. And we get. He beats all the forces, but the thing is, he does see Spider-Man come back, doesn't he? Which is
that was great. That bit where he's like, "Hey, Mr. Stark, what are we doing? Where are we going? You were gone. It was all dusty, and like I don't know what happened, but Doctor Strange said we've been like gone for 5 years, and they needed our help." He just hugs him and goes, "Oh, this is nice."
Yeah, it was really quite touching. It really was.
Yeah.
But then Stark really suffers. No one seems to go out their way to sort of revive him or, try and give him any help. It's like, he's dying, right? Okay. Pepper Potts.
Well, I think at that point you've got like cosmic forces slowly killing him. There's not much you can really do.
Nah.
He's almost inevitably going to be coming back at some point, but not for a while.
Yeah.
So
Pepper Potts says we'll be fine, and then we get his funeral where we have like an all-star cast.
And that bit where he's just sat there and his arc reactor goes out. Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's kind of really telling. So we get his funeral, and then like everyone turns up, even characters we don't even remember. I had to Google some of them.
The kid from Iron Man 3,
grown up.
Some reason.
Yeah. Well, he knows Tony Stark, right? So that's fair enough.
Sort of.
And we even get. I think I saw Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah, and Howard Pym and all that.
She's I quite like the little bit that Jon Favreau had with Morgan, where he's like, "Do you want anything?" And she just goes,
"Cheeseburger."
I want a cheeseburger. It's like, you're so much like your dad.
Yeah, like, that's a callback to the first film, right?
Yeah.
Well,
the first thing he asked for after getting back is a cheeseburger. So.
Yeah. It's kind of quite touching. And then we get that final little bit where Steve Rogers turns up as an old man.
He goes back in time to drop the stones back off, and then when he doesn't immediately come back, they're like panicking for a moment, but then Falcon notices an old man sitting on a bench nearby.
Yeah.
He goes over, it's old Steve, and it turns out he went back and basically lived his entire life with Peggy.
Yeah, which is cool.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
And then he gives Falcon the shield, which is that happens in the comics. I was expecting it to happen at some point. I just didn't think it would be this one.
Yeah.
So
interesting. We'll see if that works out. I'm not quite sure if it will, but
I mean, it should. So
yeah, we'll see.
Falcon and Winter Soldier have their own show coming out.
Yeah, I did see that. I was thinking, this reminded me of how much I like the Agent Carter TV show, actually. Because we do see,
Yeah.
what's his name? Danvers, the butler guy. Oh, I forgot his name.
Jarvis.
Jarvis, of course it's Jarvis. Yes, Jarvis. We see him as an older or sort of taken out of time character too at one point, the actor that plays that.
Yeah, that's the first time a TV character has ever appeared in the films.
Wow. How about that? So, well, Peggy Carter. But she was in the films first. So.
No, she was in the films first.
She was.
So,
yeah, I think that's a very sweet ending for Captain America. Oh, I actually thought Captain America was going to die in this.
Yeah.
That was...
I
felt
we've got Thor's little conclusion where he hands leadership of New Asgard off to Valkyrie and then joins the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I want to see a Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with Thor.
Well, that's almost certainly what's going to happen.
Oh, I hope so. Interestingly, we never see it. We didn't see old Gamora disintegrate, did we?
No, I assume she ran off, and now that's what the number 3 is going to be about.
Yeah, so I can believe that. It's going to be... so we didn't get Black Widow back, and we did...
No,
but we got Loki back, right?
Maybe. So
well, Loki disappeared, and there's going to be a Loki TV show. He disappeared,
but yeah, there's going to be a Loki TV show, but that was in the alternate universe.
Oh,
so
okay. All right, fair enough. Well, I guess he disappeared in that alternate universe anyway, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, great film.
Yeah.
What would you give it out of 10?
I'd give this a solid 10. So I really enjoyed it.
I'd give it a 9. I had a few problems.
Just the conclusion to 11 years of films.
22 films. It's quite a very, very well done wrap up, I'd say.
No one's going to get this, but Pepper puts on the rescue armor. So
okay.
she's a superhero in the comics too, and she's got her superhero name is Rescue. So
okay, cool. Oh, you get War Machine is. There was one moment during the battle that I thought was interesting, where all the women line up, all the female characters.
I mean, it was hokey. It was hokey, but I enjoyed it. So
I thought it was kind of cool, and I think there's a lot of little girls in the audience or young girls that really dig that, and I thought it was kind of wonderful for them.
Yeah, I something that was kind of funny. It's like, this all makes sense, and then Mantis walks into view. It's like, what are you even doing here?
Okay. It's I'm looking. I have to say, out of all of this, the thing I'm looking forward to most is the next Guardians film, because I want to see Thor and Queer and Star-Lord, getting on each other's nerves and going off and trying to find Gamora and all that sort of stuff. I think that could be really fun. And of course, Thor will be working out to sort of try and get back into shape and all that sort of stuff. So
it's gonna be
great
such a good
film with some great moments, right? Good wrap up of all 22 this phase. I've no idea what the next phase is because I don't know Marvel, not a clue. But
I don't know.
I thought it was bizarre.
Maybe more Skrull.
Yeah, maybe. I thought it was bizarre that they've said, "Oh no, the next Spider-Man is part of this phase as well," which seems a bit weird because it's like, why? Why does it have to be part of any phase? But there you go. Okay, we'll wind up there. So big recommend for us, and I'm hoping anyone who's listened to this has already seen the film. Are you excited to try and catch it again?
Yeah, probably. So.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to get another week or two. I reckon it's going to be in the cinema at least 6 weeks. So I'm going to go see it when things have calmed down, where I can get a decent seat on a Sunday morning and really sort of dig it. So yeah. All right then, let's wind this up there. So bye from me.
Okay. Bye.
We like to hear from our listeners at The Good, The Bad and The Odd, so if you have any thoughts on this week's topic or anything else movie or TV related, drop us a line at info@thegoodthebadandtheodd.com. Written or MP3 attached, we like both. We're available on Stitcher, iTunes, and as an RSS feed. Just go to www.thegoodthebadandtheodd.com for links to these. Also, feel free to come chat with us by joining our Facebook group on www.facebook.com/groups/The Good, The Bad and The Odd, all as one word. Thanks for listening, and until next time on The Good, The Bad and The Odd.